Hello, and thanks for joining us for another episode of Paranormal United States. This is episode 37. This is Oregon.
Yes, so Oregon, and I wanted to talk about the Oregon Trail,
Okay,
the
I've heard of that.
famous Oregon Trail. Also a video game which was quite popular, I think,
Okay.
in the 80s, or one of the old style retro video games. So the Oregon Trail was a wagon road stretching 2,170 miles
Oh, wow.
all the way from Missouri to Oregon's Willamette Valley. From the 1840s to the 1800s, thousands trekked westward, carrying only a few belongings and supplies for the journey, before settling on the western frontier, forever changing the American West. As the frontier west gave way to settlements, the Oregon Trail might have been forgotten, save for some of the pioneers who formed historical societies, and especially the work of 1852 pioneer Ezra Meeker, an advocate of trail preservation. He retraced the journey back and forth across the continent, starting in 1906, placing markers along the way. In 1978, Congress designated it as the Oregon National Historic Trail, part of the National Trail System. While only about 300 miles of the actual trail still remains, the route is preserved with over 125 historic sites, auto tour routes, and markers.
Oh, wow.
Over 400,000 immigrants attempted the 2,200-mile journey, but with limited supplies, illness, and the sheer multitude of the task, many failed, and it's estimated that over 20,000 died at the roadside. Buried in unmarked graves as the dead were quickly buried and the wagons moved on.
Wow.
Not far from Portland, Lowell Hill was one of the most dangerous parts of the overland route on the trail. In the 1840s, casualties were plenty as the wagons struggled to battle with the steep road, with many losing control and smashing to pieces at the bottom of the hill. This became a permanent camp for emigrants to take a break, nurse their wounds, and bury their dead. Ghost stories are plenty in this part of the trail, including a door in the old mess hall which opens by itself every day at around 4 a.m. as a spirit of a chef is said to start making his breakfast
Oh, wow.
in the kitchen, which is attached to the mess hall. In 2001, volunteers uncovered a pair of rock-covered graves, and in subsequent photos, clear orbs can be seen hovering around them. Strange glowing orbs have also been captured in photos taken in the old bunkhouses. The buildings themselves, very basic, not much foundations to them. They're known to shake as if someone is walking by.
Oh,
Like footsteps can be heard. It was like someone's walking past,
wow.
but there's no one there. And in one spooky photo, there's an old piano. It's got like a mirror on the front of it. And in one of the photos, a woman's face can be seen in the mirror as if to be playing the piano.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's great.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
In one of the other cabins, a woman in her late 20s or early 30s has been seen who appears upstairs at night when it rains. She looks out the window, she makes eye contact with you and smile, but doesn't speak.
Okay.
Going along the trail a bit further, the final destination for thousands of the pioneers that made it along the trail is Oregon City. With lots of its own rich history, the spirits of many of the founding members that made the trail still haunt and inhabit some of the original and historic locations. Umatinga House is one of the oldest buildings in the state of Oregon and is now a museum. One frequent guest, a steamboat captain, who stayed there quite regularly, appears to have never left once he died, and he still prefers his favourite seat at the head of the dining room table, regularly pulling the chair out from under the table up to 20 times a day.
Oh, God.
Much to the annoyance of the staff who were there, they have to keep pushing it back under the table
Oh, geez.
because he keeps pulling it out to sit on it.
I wonder if they've got proper footage of that if it happens so often.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of this is not much to back up these stories, but there's quite a lot of them around these houses. Visitors to the museum also claim to have been touched by unseen entities, They've seen shadow figures wandering from room to room and just have the general feeling of being watched by some unknown person.
Creepy.
Another house, again from one of these founding pioneers, was the McLaughlin House, also in Oregon City, which shares similar legends. The original owner, John McLaughlin, seems to still reside in his old house, with many guests and staff members seeing and hearing him move around the house, going from room to room, even ducking to get under some of the small spaces and staircases. His rocking chair regularly rocks as if somebody is sat in it, and quite creepily, once a year on the morning of September 3rd, there's a gold-framed oil painting of John, which hangs up. And on this morning, September 3rd, when the sun shines on it in a particular way, it glows eerily as the sun hits the frame.
Okay.
So his face glows up.
Yeah, well, that's odd.
Other experiences in the house include a man that felt like somebody's trying to choke him on the first floor and move him towards the banister of the stairs.
Oh, Christ.
So he felt like he was being pushed, like someone was going to push him down the stairs. And there is actually rumours that there are murders in the house as well. So it could be the murderer still trying to get his victims.
That whole trauma thing again.
Yeah. Could be a lady apparition in a beautiful period gown has been seen going up the steps. Displays in the museum that are out of reach of guests get found having been rearranged.
That's odd.
And no one had touched it.
Yeah.
And in one case, a cleaner was vacuuming in one of the bedrooms and someone tapped her 3 times on the shoulder. Thinking it was one of your staff members, she turned around, see what they wanted, but there was no one there.
It's that kind of thing that I'd just go shiver down the spine and out of there.
It could have been John or his wife that lived in the house as well. Yeah, so that's some of the tales from the Oregon Trail and the founding members that made up Oregon City.
Cool.
So that was episode 37, Paranormal United States, Oregon.